Although not a bad film itself, the title Christmas Lodge is not a good title because this film is distinctly lacking in Christmas. There is virtually no Christmas in this. I do not think this can be classed as a Christmas film. However, once I kind of made my peace with the fact that I wasn't going to get the fun, festive Christmas film that I was hoping for, I did actually allow myself to enjoy the film, and it does have a lot of positives to it. It was released in 2011, directed by Terry Ingram, written by Lawrence S. Richardson Jr. and Renee Roche. And this is all about, believe it or not, a Christmas lodge. It is called the Christmas Lodge. And as I said, there's nothing Christmassy about it in the film. But we do have some characters relaying memories of times they used to spend Christmas there. It's also next to a beautiful nature trail and hiking location. So it's really visually a very lovely place. So I'll read the description from IMDb, which, if I just quickly scan it, yes, so it doesn't give any spoilers. There won't be any spoilers in this. During a weekend trip to the mountains, Mary finds herself at the now run-down lodge where she spent the holidays with her family growing up. She becomes determined to restore the building to its former glory. So Mary gets involved in this project of trying to recapture the magic of Christmas Lodge by restoring it. It's obviously got some problems with it. It's in a state of disrepair somewhat. And we really do get to the heart of Christmas Lodge as a building. It almost becomes a character within its own right. We learn a lot about the fabrication of the building, the history of it, how it came to be, the time the families spent there. We really do get to know this lodge, and I really admire that with the film because a lot of similar films, although they do the Christmas aspect significantly better, the building doesn't necessarily take on a role of its own, but in this case it definitely does, and I really felt the presence of the building. The other thing as well is that this is quite emotional. There are some problems with the character called Grampa, played by John Innes. He's not very well. He's having to have a lot of bed rest, and we get to see a lot of emotions in the characters as they're dealing with this. There's no immediate threat to his life ending anytime soon, as far as we can see. But there's obviously still a lot of reminiscing of times gone by when other family members were still alive and everything was hunky-dory and they could all spend Christmas at the lodge together as a family. So we have a lot of trips down memory lane, and you're kind of invited very readily to listen and to be part of those conversations. I feel like the film does draw you in, and it makes it quite a really emotional journey. So in all, it really is a good film. The narrative progression is very nice. It deals with a lot of different emotions. It's quite poignant. It will tug at your heartstrings. Visually, we have some gorgeous scenery, and the lodge itself is a brilliant character. We have some good acting. Erin Karpluk plays Mary, and I have no complaints at all. She's a pretty decent protagonist. I can get on board with her as a character. The only problem is that I feel like I was misled into thinking that it was a Christmas film. But apart from a few anecdotes, it wasn't really Christmassy at all. But it's still an enjoyable film. If I were to watch it again, which I probably wouldn't go out of my way to, but if it was on TV or something, then maybe I'd watch it because I know what to expect. I won't be too disappointed by the lack of Christmas, and I think I'd probably enjoy it again. I'd say it's one that's worth a watch.